Joys of inventory management. Right, I checked the mind affecting a paralysis thing, and paralysis is included in all the mind affecting protections, so it doesn't matter. There is no immunity to petrification. You just have to make the saving throw. There might be a specific protection against the spell Stone to Flesh, but there's a lot of different ways how things work, even if the effect is the same. So that there's no guarantee of any protection, even if you're protected from that specific spell. I did not check if the Beholder rays that knocked me down actually can be protected against through knockdown immunity. So I don't know. It's possible. Don't particularly want to test because the load times are so long. Right, merchant. We need to buy something because we are naked. +5 gear. That is what we must have. Saving throws +7. Yeah, that's an acceptable shield. And weapon. Right, we still have 9 million gold, so there's always that. Will saving throws. Yeah, this would not have been horrible. This would have been great defense actually against the Beholder rays. It is a will saving throw that does the knockdown effect, I'm pretty sure about that. And +6. Still, the fortitude saving throws aren't exactly bad for us either. Right, 38 armor class without anything extra, but that's a significant buff in our armor class. It is not great, but it is good. We might be able to get it to 40 if we add a enchantment bonus from one of the recipes. The problem is I have no clue really that's what that actually does in certain type of items. And we need to switch the equipment around in general. Right. Start from scratch. We have nothing, no immunities, no regenerations, no protections. Armor class 34. Saving throws are massively boosted, but only on the fortitude side. The will is terrible. 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 Right. I need some kind of inventory space somewhere. Hasted items is not a real thing we have to worry about. We have it elsewhere. I mean, we can put it on any item, so it's irrelevant. What we need is to gather up certain type of items, like items that have death immunity. Then we basically have to make a choice which one we're gonna focus on. This is a totally worthless piece of item now. These can be added to anything. These don't really add anything. Mind affecting might be the best choice to start with. I don't think there are all that many mind affecting items. Still, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I'll start adding core immunity items in here in general. Ignore the protection items for now. Mind affecting death magic. Haste doesn't matter. Immunity paralysis doesn't matter. Mind affecting covers that perfectly. What bag of holding is this? It's a better cloak than the one we're using. Not so sure. The wisdom bonus does give me advantages. Fortitude saving throw +5, slashing resist 35. Immunity to paralysis. This is worthless. This was sneak attack immunity. Sneak attack immunity is nice. Critical hit immunity also includes sneak attack immunity, so critical immunity is much better than sneak attack immunity. Let's take this into consideration. I mean, it's something that I have immunity that I can't get through other means currently, and it's a pretty big thing. 75% piercing immunity would be another one, because yeah, percentages are reduced first, but percentages also stack. So if I have another piercing immunity item, I can get over 100% immunity to a damage type. So immunity percentages are much more valuable than anything else. Yeah, we could get full piercing immunity with these two items. One item actually. But I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of those. They pop up fairly regularly. This is totally worthless. Fire immunity bonus. Again, could easily get elemental immunities. Yeah, I didn't quite realize how many items I have stocked up. Regeneration wheel saving throws? What the fuck? Haste on a ring is not necessarily a bad idea. I mean, I can add it to a better one. Piercing immunity bonus. So I can easily get piercing immunity over 100%. So piercing attacks could do no damage to us, which means sneak attack protection is totally worthless. We could ignore everything that uses piercing. We could focus on damage reduction on other damage types. I should probably hold on to this one just to see what we want to do with it. Freedom, yeah, it's a mandatory thing. Without freedom, we can't fight. Fire resistance. I'm not taking cold vulnerability. Slashing resist, saving throws. Not bad. But we're looking for immunities. A lot of slashing resistance. Magic resistance is not bad, especially the beholders do magic resistance gaze attacks. We're sort of just shifting the problem around with this. Can't be helped. Haste on a shitty cloak. This is not worth anything. Only haste. Go away. Fire resist, fire saving throws, deflection modifier. Immunity to death magic on boots. It has nothing else though. Level ability drain. That's not on all that many items. Not sure I can add it. Ooh, gloves of mind affecting. Immunity to mind affecting. Freedom. Bludgeoning resist. Spell resistance. Don't have a lot of bludgeoning resist or immunities in any item. Halaster's Cloak. Has freedom, has cold resist, has armor bonus, has fortitude saving throws. That's not bad. Not bad at all, but most of our mind affecting resistances or immunities are from cloaks. It's really one glove that seems to have something else. Slashing resist, dark vision. How about new? Bludgeoning spells level 3 or lower. No. This is okay. Listen. Damage immunity fire 10%. It's not much, but it's still something. Besides the simple death magic immunity. Garbage. What garbage? Fire, 75% immunity. With just this, we could mostly ignore fire damage sources. The incoming damage after this would be pitiful. Acid shield, worthless. Negative energy resistances would be nice if we had immunity percentages on top of those. Worthless. Cold resist 35, likely worthless. Ooh, ring with level ability immunity. These are all garbage. Fire resistance and dark vision. Ooh. Right, that's more or less it. So, what do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items that have to have a certain set of abilities and immunities. So, items 8. There aren't that many good cloaks, I think. Also, I don't need to look at that now. Oh, for God's sakes. There's really only 3 cloaks if we want the immunities. Let's start with the basics of the basics. Without mind affecting immunity and freedom, I can't do anything. Death magic is pretty much mandatory too. You can choose reflexes or regeneration with death magic. I think there was something else. Yeah. Some minor damage immunity. Just want to see if there's any death magic immunities here. Yeah, one more. Okay, so 4 or 5 death magic items. 4. We have to choose one. Have to choose one. There is no getting around that. Look back. Okay. Boots, rings, or amulet. This is sort of rubbish. The regeneration helps, so that's nice. Uh, this is sort of rubbish, but it has the all everything we need, and this is rubbish. So death magic. Four items. So ring, amulet, and boots. More or less making an inventory of what type of abilities we can add to what slots. It should clear the understanding of what needs to be placed where. Freedom's another one that if we don't have it, death magic isn't that important in some sense, because I have death immunities through other means, and I actually have very good saving throws against what usually causes death, fortitude. So if I'd have to skimp on some kind of immunity, death would be it at the moment. It's our strongest defense, and I can temporarily create immunity toward that through potions. Problem is beholders. It's a constant barrage of different type of abilities, instant death included. So if it and they strip all magic defenses. So if you have a potion or spell protecting you, that's not gonna cut it. Freedom. Let's go with freedom next. Haste can always be added. I mean, yeah, I'm not actually totally sure what could be added later. Well, that's worthless. It's a ring. Rings are something I wouldn't want to use too much. We have very good rings in storage. Mind affecting, no. This basically has sneak attack. The cloak has sneak attack, and that's the only thing it has. No one else, no other item slot has this. But it's totally worthless otherwise. Improved evasion. That's one thing we do have to have too. But I'm pretty sure that's something we can still add. I think there were gauntlets that can do the same too, but that's about it. Evasion. Look. Wisdom +4 would be mind affecting, rather will saving throws. And we have piercing immunities. Freedom is on a helmet. The regeneration is welcome, but that's not a... we can always drink potions. Don't want to stare at that. Level ability drain. That is something we must have. That's something that constantly is barraged at us. Put it drain. We have an amulet. Does this? Freedom on an amulet. So is level ability drain. Negative energy immunity 90%. This is a strong candidate. Because even minor increases against negative energy at this point would render most of these attack worthless against me. This is theoretically useful though. Gloves of mind affecting immunity. And a ring of level drain immunity. I think this is most of it. I seem to recall gathering up the practical immunity items. There's a lot of other stuff that has protections, but they're just protections, not real immunities. Not in the sense or in the abilities we want. What I do notice is that there's very few belts that have any kind of immunity attached to them. So on the belt front, goes the extra stuff. It has to. Can't really go anywhere else. Universal saving throw slashing resistance. Not bad. So significant slashing resistance and saving throws are all welcome because we can't get immunities against everything. But is that all? Looks like it. I'm actually a little bit surprised how weak we are on the belt front. Negative energy resistance of 30 points after the 90% immunity would be nice. Okay. So what exactly are we gonna choose? The recipes. Extra damage types. I'm pretty sure I stored some of them here. Keen. Armor class bonus +2. Piercing damage type. Immunity to spell level 3 or lower. Weight reduction. Damage reduction. This is worthless. Spell resistance 14. Dexterity bonus +4. Improved evasion. Regeneration. Vampiric regeneration. We can ignore the improved evasion on an item because that can be added. That is important information. I should have plenty more. Floor +10. That could be somewhat cute. Spell immunity level 5 or lower. I think 3 is something that's sufficient to block most of the annoying crap. 5 is naturally a lot better, but it's not a must-have. Intelligence +6. Not sure what this would add really. Immunity to acid. This is another big question mark. Okay, acid 90% immunity bonus. This would basically make me immune to acid because I have 5-point reduction. Yeah, it's up to 50 points of acid basically. I'm covered with this, so that's definitely something we will do. Practical acid immunity. Holy Avenger. We're gonna add that, hopefully keen, to the weapon. Immunity to paralysis. Yeah, this is nice. It's worthless because we need the mind affecting anyway, and mind affecting covers this. Enchantment bonus +1. Does it only apply to weapons? I mean, what is enchantment bonus +1 on certain type of items? Haste. Damage bonus +2. Could be a magical damage bonus. Divine. Yep, that's also going to a weapon. Extra piercing. Damage type. Spell resistance 18. That's a good one. Immunity to fire 50%. Still going to be added to the equipment. Keen. Haste. Damage reduction +3/20. This is reasonable. Won't protect against all attacks, but it still will cover a lot. Unlimited ammunition. Willpower save +3. This is also going to be added. Enchantment bonus +2. Right, so haste doesn't really matter. But everything else does. We need ability drain immunity, mind affecting immunity, freedom and death immunity. So four immunities. Drain is only on amulet and ring. Mind affecting is on cloak and gloves. Freedom is on ring, helmet and amulet. Death is on ring, amulet and boots. Ring can hold 2. I'd like to have one ring that I can sort of switch on and off, though. There's a lot of ring abilities that are not particularly good overall abilities, but are powerful in certain situations. So I think level ability drain on Amulet makes a lot of sense. That'll mean do we have anything really good? I mean, like just good items we would like to have somewhere in storage. There are good helmets, like really good helmets that could protect us against most of our enemies, and they'll provide saving throws, which means freedom should probably be included in a ring, which means death will have to be included in the boots. There are shitty pair boots, but our current pair boots is shitty too. That leaves cloak and gloves for the mind affecting. Do we have particularly good cloaks or gloves? We could take a lot of spell immunity. I think there's a lot more gloves than good cloaks. So it makes sense to use the cloak for the mind affecting immunity. So we can cover the basics in 4 items: amulet, cloak, ring, and a boots. Leaves us with 4 other items that we can use to buff ourselves further. And that's more or less it. Now we just need to implement our little plan. Where's the mind affecting immunity cloaks? It's like 2 of them, I think. One with improved evasion included, and one with wisdom +4. I'll pick this one. Nothing particularly amazing about this, but it's fine. We could also add extra protections to this. It's a good cloak to begin with. Some of the immunities, for example, because it's very unlikely we're gonna ditch this cloak or for any reason. So I think we should add as much crap to this item as we possibly can. The mistake is to spread them around. Otherwise, we'll have a lot of equipment that we sort of don't want to give up at any risk. It's better to focus things on one thing. Jewelry and gloves are something that you constantly get good ones that have a lot of decent abilities. So there's I'd like a lot of flexibility in that one. I'm also pretty sure I'm going to keep this management session as a separate session, just so this is easily skippable. I'll try to explain whatever I did during this once we start the actual gaming session. Right. Movement. Might as well add haste to it. 2 hastes. Saving throws. Willpower. +3, yeah, give it to me. No. It's a good one, but we want some things that we want to stick with us no matter what. I think we want the acid immunity maybe on it. Or the good damage reduction, that's always our backup, the 3/20. It won't be perfect, but it will basically be with us always. So we are fairly well protected against certain type of base attacks against us. Right, this is the fundamental cloak we'll be using for a long time. How much stuff can you add to it? +2 armor class. I'm not sure it would be all that good on a cloak. Dexterity and intelligence. Not sure it would make all that much of a difference. It'll help, but it's not that important. Acid or fire immunity. I think I sort of like the acid. Lore. Weight reduction. How about no? Weight reduction is irrelevant. Yeah, the immunities and armor class bonuses are probably the only things that still matter. Spell level immunity isn't exactly bad either. It's only on all the 3rd level spells though. But it's one of those maybe spell resistance. Because it's something we definitely want to stick with us constantly. So regardless of any spell immunities. And it's 18 is a respectful one. Can't do all that much of these. Right, physical protections, magical protections, magical protections, magical protections, and haste. That's already 5 abilities though. Can I add a 6th one? Spell level immunity? So how much crap can we add? Alright. Immunity to spell by level. Level 3 or lower. Immunity, 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 resistance, immunity, reductions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, can I just keep piling these up? Not enough components. What do we miss? We don't have one glowing twilight star. Excellent. We could take the fire reduction though. It'll still help. Do we need anything else? Now why not add the willpower save resistance? There's no downside to it as far as I can see. And you can probably just upgrade it at some point. Yeah, improved saving throws will. Can I add the fire resistance? I think that's gonna be our cloak for now. Right, 50% immunity to fire. Damage reduction +3, soak 20 damage. Haste, immunity to spells by level, level 3 or lower. Immunity to mind affecting spells. Improved evasion, improved saving throws will. Spell resistance 18. So a simple cloak of immunity. Ching. We could add +2 armor class too though. I mean, why not? You can always upgrade them later apparently. Item already has the maximum number of properties. Good! That's what I wanted to hear, because now I know what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still, it's a good solid cloak, and we're never going to abandon this no matter what happens. I would have preferred the acid immunity on this. But fire immunity is still useful. Half damage from hitting a fire shield, elemental shield. If we can add even a minor damage reduction, like 5 points, simply from a feat, that'll be enough. It'll do. Currently, it does less than 20 points to us, and I think that that damage is capped. So it'll be below 10 points with this immunity. Then remove 5, and yeah, it'll do some damage, but it's at the level that it's irrelevant. Right, that's one down. And did we cover something with it? Yes, the mind affecting immunity. We need freedom, death, and air drain. I think the amulet we have here would be more or less what we are looking for. It has 4 abilities, 2 of them which are actually useful. There were a few others, but I think we were more or less settled on an amulet already. This would have will saving throws. Yeah, I'm not quite sure this is better. Yeah, it has the Constitution +4, but it already has 2 wasted abilities on top of that. We can't upgrade it further. This has 2 useful abilities, and 6 others can be added. Not sure what we can really add though. Also, we're definitely saving in the for making new items. I'd like to see if we can add enchantment bonuses to the amulet. It would be likely a natural armor modification at that point, so it would stack with what we currently already have. Probably. I mean, it's not a lot, but I do want to add it to an item if at all possible. A couple of extra points could make a big difference then. After that, freedom and death. Freedom being the more important one. Although there is enough death to go around, so what can you add to an amulet? Ability bonuses are nice, but they're not that important. My armor type prevents me from getting a lot of universal AC bonus. Okay. Yeah, this is mostly just wasted stuff. The universal AC bonus might be good. We can't add too many of these. Let's take a little bit of a reality check here. What we really need is buffed is other things, so maybe we should buff those first, because we might run out of proper gems to do the job. Warhammer is the biggest thing. Right. Critical hit powers. Keen, please. Critical threat range should be doubled. I just not need to actually test that it works on a blonde item. Yeah, it adds 1 to our critical threat range. So it works. What else? We need Holy Avenger. What does this actually do? I don't even recall anymore. I really don't. We have a merchant here somewhere. Wouldn't you happen to have a Holy Avenger spell ability somewhere? It is a clerical spell, so I'm not sure if this guy sells it, but he sells other clerical spells. Probably looks like a sword of some sort. He's selling clerical spells in general. Keen Edge, Greater Magic Weapon, Dark Fire. I have no recollection of what level an item it is. Black Blade of Disaster, Black Staff, Mordecai's Sword. I don't see it. Not sure what it would actually look like, but these level spells are too high. I think it's something like 5th or 6th level buff spell of some sort. There's druid spells here too. I'm not sure if there's any kind of real order to these. I'm not seeing it. I really wish I could just see what the hell it does. Yeah, that's probably it. This spell transforms the caster's melee weapon into a powerful Holy Avenger, a specially blessed weapon that when wielded by a paladin acts as a +5 holy weapon that dispels magic on hit, delivers an additional 1d6 divine damage against evil aligned creatures, and grants the caster a spell resistance of 60. Only usable by a paladin. Holy sword, but this doesn't really apply to us. I mean, I can still use the weapon, right? But it would sort of suck if I couldn't. Right, still, that's a third ability. Anything else? Damage bonus. Universal damage bonus +2. I think it's divine damage too. Yeah. Damage bonus divine too. +5 enchantment. Holy Avenger. Keen. What else? Attack bonuses? Now versus alignment, that's worthless. Rubbish. 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 Extra damage type might not be bad. Blunt weapon works on pretty much anything I can think of, but it might not work on everything. We could add piercing to that. I sort of think we should leave this alone. Yeah, we can add some things, but what if we get the other weapon abilities that I sort of like? There's no room to add anything because I've stuffed this with all kinds of random crap. It's a good weapon now anyway. More enchantment bonus, more damage, critical hit range increase. So it's a decent upgrade. Still, we're lacking about 10 points of strength, so that's a bit of a problem. Right. Saving throws. What are our saving throws? 17, 13, 8. Not great, but slightly improved from what they were. Also, we're missing quite a lot of items. 38 armor class, which is nice. The armor is definitely lacking something. I'm not sure if I can add anything to it at the moment. Same with shield is fine, but I think we're more or less just lacking in recipes that we could add to it. I could add something to it, but it wouldn't really aid things. I can't add the 90% acid immunity. I don't have the gems for it. So I think we're better off just sitting on a lot of these recipes for now. Right, it's now more of a matter of just choosing what we want to fill those little holes with. Death immunity comes from boots, and I don't think we had great items on this run. Yeah, rangers lots, but doesn't particularly matter. This is something we want to. We're eager to maybe exchange this for something else later. Also, add some type of buffs to it. But for now, it does its job. Right. We need freedom and drain immunity. Extra will saving throws. So now we have better will saving throws than we had previously. Everything's looking good. We're lacking freedom, and that's probably gonna go with a ring, although I'm not sure I want to do that. We had very well, there were good helmets too. Okay, freedom comes from a ring. Although, yeah, there are great rings, great rings. But still, let's stick with the plan. It only has freedom, so there's a lot of room for improvement. We're covered on that front, and the light actually isn't all that bad. There's some dark areas, and it sort of annoys me when I can't see off much. But that's everything. We have 3-4 slots where we can put whatever we want. I think we're gonna stick with the strength belt for now. It has some bludgeoning resistance, which is irrelevant. And it's a terrible strength belt to boot. We really don't have good belts. Negative energy resistance would be significant on this one though. But again, we are trying to be more offensive focused. The belt is terrible though, I fully admit that, so we are looking for an upgrade on that. There were some good helmets, I think. I'm not sure if we want the gloves we were using. Freedom and regeneration. Piercing immunity 50%. I'm pretty sure we had some good helmets. Slashing resist, saving throw fortitude, something like this. This will keep me protected from a lot of things. Petrification is no longer an issue, slashing damage is no longer an issue. This is irrelevant. What did I do? I equipped it. Dumbass. Not a shop interface. True seeing wouldn't be a horrible thing. It couldn't be dispelled, that's the thing, and I do have to go after mages quite often. The first thing they'll do when they spot me is they'll go invisible. With that helmet, it would be totally irrelevant. Alternatively, the slashing resistance, because that way I wouldn't have to carry around the ring that I currently have, or a glove that provides a lot of damage reduction. It becomes irrelevant with this, and the minor protections from the cloak. It covers some of it, but slashing is where most of the damage usually comes from. With the fighters are using it mostly, so 35 will cover that easily. Plus 5 saving throws, welcome. Not really vital. Right, this is no longer relevant. It provides nothing we are not already getting from other sources. Spell immunity to level 5 or lower wouldn't be a horrible thing. Slashing resist 35, not a horrible thing, but we're already getting that sort of. Immunity to evocation. This is a lot of damage spells, even higher level ones that could screw us over. Not a bad choice. Fire immunity bonus 75%. This would be immunity to fire basically, because we have a 50% already. Immunity to evocation, another one. 75% piercing immunity bonus. Piercing damage would become irrelevant. Passive energy resistance, they are the classic one. Strength and poison resistance. As much as I like strength, ooh, immunity to illusion, but I already sort of have that. As much as I want to increase my strength, I would still like the bonuses to be at least somewhat useful. Alright, I don't actually see anything particularly interesting on the glove front. I think evocation immunity provides the most interesting stuff because it provides total protection from certain type of high level spells. The big B's lineup, the good damage spells that our immunity isn't gonna protect against, they're all evocation, so now they're irrelevant. I'm still looking for upgrades on that. So basically we have maybe 3 slots where I'm not particularly happy with what we have. And then the ring. We have slashing resistance already. This could be anything, doesn't particularly matter. Negative energy resistance 90% might not be a horrible idea. Simply because we could test the thing out. Does harm spell be affected by that? If it is, that's a good competitor to permanent equipment. Nothing slashing related. Magical resist. Yeah, evocation immunity makes that redundant. Right, I'm not seeing anything particularly interesting here. So yeah, I think the 90% negative energy immunity bonus is a worthwhile thing to experiment on. We are going to keep an eye out on if it affects the harm spell. Something we want to is knockdown immunity. We need to test it against the beholder race. But yeah, this is it for now. Will saving throws +6, that's somewhat attractive to me though. I have to sacrifice a couple points of armor class in order to really get it, but it might be worth the sacrifice. Right. I want the recipes out of the inventory. They're just all over the place. Most of them are sort of decent, at least. I mean, I can see myself using them at some point. There was maybe like one or two that was sort of crap, but that's it. We're desperate in need of certain type of gems. At the same time, it's not like I can intentionally go gather them up somewhere, so not much I can do about it. We'll find them when we find them. Right, so that's it for now. We're missing something interesting, vital? I don't think so. So, management done.